Joining me live now to discuss the latest in global news is foreign editor at the Australian, Sheridan. Greg, thank you very much for joining us today.
Julia, great to be with you.
I just want to start, of course, on the Israeli Prime Minister's trip to Washington for talks with Donald Trump. We saw that really drawn-out media conference a short time ago. How likely is it that a ceasefire could be achieved here?
Well, I thought there was a lot of choreography and almost pantomime in that encounter. You've got to admire Netanyahu. His nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize is exactly what Trump wants to hear. Very unlikely the Nobel Committee would ever give it to Trump. But Netanyahu is a world-class Trump whisperer. We might get a ceasefire, but the real question is what is the long-term Israeli plan for Gaza? Everyone is insisting on Israeli withdrawal. I don't think that's necessarily the best idea, because if Israel withdraws, Hamas comes back into power, you've got all the devastation that Gaza has suffered, and yet you'll just resume the old military problems, and Israel will still be reluctant to let aid get through. Similarly, I can't see any Arab peacekeeping force really working. Would Arab peacekeepers shoot Palestinian terrorists to stop them attacking Israel? These are insoluble problems. It may be that some kind of quasi-Israeli administration with some local clans or warlords within Gaza is going to emerge, but we really have no idea, partly because the Israelis haven't told us what their medium-term plan for Gaza is. If they get all the hostages back tomorrow, we still don't know what their plan is for Gaza.
And you heard in that meeting over that table this morning that Benjamin Netanyahu, had a lot of strength when he was talking about the conflict. Does that mean that he doesn't see a two-state solution as possible? Is that what you see as possible?
Well, look, I think all of this talk about a two-state solution is just baloney anyway. I mean, Netanyahu in the past has supported a two-state solution, no doubt. The ideal for Israel doesn't want to be ruling a couple of million of Palestinians. The ideal for Israel would be a Palestinian state which lived in peace and posed no security threat to Israel. But every time they've got near to a negotiation, the terrorism has amped up, and the Palestinians have on 4 occasions formally rejected the most generous offer that Israel could possibly make in terms of territory and conditions and so forth. Now, I think you must have a period of normalisation before you get two states. You can't imagine that Israel says, OK, that's fine, we'll withdraw from Gaza now, Hamas can come back and we'll make it an independent state so that in a few years it can accumulate weapons and do October 7 all over again. You're going to have a period, probably 5 or 10 years, where things are normal. And, if the Palestinians would give the Israelis 5 minutes of normality, I'm sure the Israelis would give the Palestinians a state. But the extremists in the Palestinian camp are so visceral in their hatred of Israel and their hatred of Jews. I mean, rank anti-Semitism resides at the very heart of the Hamas Charter, that's just not possible. So I think all the talk of a two-state solution, it's the long-term answer, but, long-term is a long, long way away.